Introducing the 2018 Chinese Silver Panda Coin. The 2018 Chinese Silver Panda Coin is legal tender in the People's Republic of China, issued by the People's Bank of China, minted by Shenzhen Guobao Mint, Shanghai Mint Company Limited, and Shenyang Mint Company Limited, and solely distributed by China Gold Coin Incorporation and other authorized Chinese bullion precious metals dealers. Chinese Panda Silver Bullion Coin is available in several sizes. This size happens to be the 30-gram size, or what was previously issued as the 1 ounce. And essentially, with the weight and the size and dimensions being the same, you can always bet that any of the airtights that you have, or any of the other stuff that you have, such as boxes and things of that nature, are going to fit, despite the fact that it might be a little bit light. The obverse depicts the Temple of Heaven, which is standard on most of these issues. The only difference being in some of them, of course, you have different arrangement of pillars and steps depending on the year, and that is an anti-counterfeiting method. And on the reverse, you have, of course, the Panda, which we talked about before in the previous video on the design. And this was a design that I had mentioned that I was not very impressed with, although now that I have it in hand, I can honestly say that it is more becoming in hand than it is in concept. And that is just because when you get it in hand, of course, it changes your opinion a little bit, as far as you can see the etching a little bit better. You know, once you're holding a precious metal, obviously it has more meaning. Still not my favorite design by any means, but I think that if we look 10 years down the road or so, we'll find that this design is quite conservative compared to where these coins are going to be headed to. As we look at the edges, we can see that again it is a diagonal reading, as been the case on all recent editions. Buying this particular coin, it comes standard and airtight. Most dealers will give you the red box, which of course has been the standard for quite a few years back now, and basically what it is a gift box essentially that says that it is a gold and silver coin of China, and that gives it a better presentation than it normally would be if it was just a coin that's bare out in the open like that. But a few years back, they actually tried to do these retail packs that had a plastic covering on them and could be hanged by hooks, as in a retail center. I haven't seen that in a couple years now, so I think that that whole plan was kind of nixed, because it's not really you know, an over-the-counter retail coin that you would buy at a 7-Eleven or something. It's got to be issued by a bullion dealer. They got to basically upsell it. They've got to make it look great. So the presentation is important. You can see there a little bit closer that the detail on the fur of this particular edition is quite impressive. You can see there's several layers there etched in there, and the bamboo twig and the bamboo in the back is of course quite detailed. 30 gram, 0.999, once again, 10 yuan denomination at the bottom of the coin face. And on the street in mainland China, you can buy this for about 150 RMB, which comes out to being about $22.75, which is not bad. You know, right when you're in the $4 plus range on premium, it may seem a little bit high, but there have been some editions of the Panda Coin series where I paid way over spot back when silver was high. You know, I've paid probably closer to 10 in a couple years, and that's just the nature of the game. Like I've always said, don't worry about the 30 grams and not being at 31 plus, because it doesn't really matter. This is not a melt coin. This is a collector coin, and regardless of the weight of silver, you're going to get that money back. So, you know, if you want to nitpick over the weight of the silver in the coin, you're probably not a collector, or you're probably not thinking of it the right way. You should probably be in the scrap metal business, because if it was 28.5 grams, it would still sell for the same amount of money, especially when you resell that coin. Now, what's interesting about this year's edition is that the COAs, this is a previous COA from the 2015 series, and you can see that it has English and Chinese on the obverse and reverse. On this edition of the Chinese Silver Panda coin, they're issuing COA certificates here with no English, and that goes along with really their protectionist motto. A couple years back, if you notice, they had mentioned that they really don't want to export too many of these coins, which I found interesting, because a couple of years there they didn't sell out. So they're trying to keep these as much as possible inside the country, protectionist measures. So even though you'll be able to get it from the top bullion dealers back in the United States or Australia or wherever, you're not going to find as many as these as you would, say, the 2012 edition. They'll just have to hold these and try to sell them domestically, which with a high mintage is going to be probably an issue, but they don't care. You know, they're very, I guess, nationalistic now and pro-protectionism, even though they enjoy criticizing the United States for being protectionist nowadays. It's like the pot calling the kettle black, because they're doing the same thing in all kinds of areas, such as rare earth minerals, and now we see that in their coin offerings. So much nicer in person. Still not my favorite, but I think that again, I'm going to have to buy a sheet of these, because I am a collector, and every edition I buy a sheet of these. Have not seen the kilo coin, have not seen the larger editions of this, or anything that is smaller than the 30 gram gold edition. But I'm assuming that it'll have the same type of allure as this particular coin. You'll be able to get this in the West in about a week from now if you get it on pre-order, and you'll probably pay more than the $22.75 that it's available for in mainland China. You're probably going to pay upwards of maybe $25, I would think, depending. You know, if you buy this in volume and buy it by the sheet, you're going to get that discount of like $1 and change. If you buy one of these, you know, after shipping and all that, it's going to be, you know, much more expensive than, you know, your typical American Eagle or your Canadian Maple and so on. So there it is, the first look at the 2018 Chinese Silver Panda coin.